Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Bitch Sesh. I'm your host, Danielle Schneider. Sadly, Casey Wilson can't be here tonight.
R.I.P. Casey.
She's not dead.
Oh, I miss her.
We always say that, but in her stead, we have two amazing co-hosts. Now, these are friends of the show. You know them. You love them. And they haven't been on in a while, and so we wanted to bring them on together just to have the whole happy family here. Please welcome, as our co-hosts on Bitch Sesh, let's please welcome Deanna Cheng.
Hi there.
And
Hi, Mrs. Cheng.
And Matt McConkey, R.I.P.
Hi.
So glad to have you guys back in the Nook. It feels like it's been as well, though you are hurt, Matt. Matt is sitting here foot up. Tell us what happened.
Look, I mean, it's the shortest story ever. I sprained my ankle. I want to say running, but I was actually preparing to run, so I was walking. I was simply on a walk.
And as I said to you, Matt, that's what happens as we age. Women, we go through menopause, and men, your bones turn to dust. That's
and
just
normally,
the natural state of things.
I rolled it, when you step on it. It's the ugliest move if you've ever seen somebody do it.
I have, and I've laughed as I watched it.
It's the most embarrassing thing. And somebody was passing me on the street in my neighborhood as it happened, and I had headphones in, and it was like the music was pretty loud, but I rolled it. But normally you can walk it off. I could not walk it off. I was down on the ground. And then this guy was walking by and I was yelling, "I'm okay." Just rolled it. By the way, I don't even know if he was checking on me or not. I was just like, just letting you know, keep walking, keep walking.
I'm constantly telling people I'm okay. Like, getting hurt is the most embarrassing thing you can do. Like, if someone slit my throat and then another person walked by, I'd be like, "I'm okay." Because there is nothing more embarrassing than being injured. It's like being vulnerable is so
because by the way, I could have used his help. Yeah. Like, I had to hobble home. And then went to urgent care where they kept being like, "So when you say you rolled your ankle, did someone also run? Did you land on something and fall?" No, there was no other particle involved. I simply
they're like, was the concrete uneven?
Did an earthquake happen whilst you were walking to make the ground uneven for you?
Was it uneven?
I want to say it was. In Los Feliz, those sidewalks can be a little sketchy.
Sure. Los Feliz, the hard streets of Los Feliz can be hard for you. Guys, this is an interesting week coming up just with the, the inauguration. It's, a dividing time for our nation. Things are happening. But personally, I feel like I've had some breakthroughs this week, which I've been excited about. I'm listening to a book on tape. I'm not going to read.
You are reading. No, that's the new reading.
Being read to.
Yeah.
I'm being read to by a stranger. It's about children's discipline. As we know, I've had some issues with my 3.5-year-old, and so I'm reading. It's called No Drama Discipline, recommended to me by Jessica St. Clair, who's been around my child and recommended this a few times.
She just slipped it to you.
Yeah, and so I've started being read it by a man that I do not know, and it's been great because this time when my daughter's spit in my face, which I mentioned that I don't know if I've mentioned on the podcast. Okay. So my daughter
we just hitting. We've covered hitting.
Yeah, no. My
rocks in the eye.
Yeah, no. She spat on me. I've never been spit on in anger before. I've heard of it happening in like a bygone time when how dare you cheat on me, patooey, seem like the dirty, or like I saw it on an episode of Oz, that prison show.
Yes.
Well, on Finding Prince Charming, shout out to the 3 people listening who get that reference.
Who spit on who?
The Sam spit on Dylan.
That's right.
I want to say. I can't believe I just conjured those names.
Yeah.
Well, it's a violent thing when it happens. Yeah. It's very violent, and I was shocked when I was helping my daughter put on a Band-Aid. She didn't want it to happen, and so she spit on my face.
Wow.
I was shocked.
And did she really give you a lot of? Wow.
It was like an old man spit on me.
What did you say?
I was in shock. I started laughing because I didn't know what to do. It had never happened. So this time I was prepared. I didn't hope it was going to happen again, but I didn't think it wasn't going to happen again. And so I've been reading this book. So when she spit on me this morning, spit at me and in me, in my mouth, I said, she looked at me and I said, "Why do we think we spit on me?"
It's such a confusing question.
She said she didn't know. And I was like, well, do you think you spit on mommy because I told you to do something you didn't want to do? And she said, yes. And I said, well, let's think of something else we can do next time. And I made her role play with me. And that probably was embarrassing to everybody. But so I said, what can we do instead? And we practiced things she can say like, mommy, I didn't like when you told me I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And I felt like we had a breakthrough. I mean, who knows what'll happen? But I felt like, I hope that next time she'll make a better choice. That's what I feel like. But no guarantees in this world.
I kind of hope she does.
Guys, we've been through it. She's been through it. I've been through it. And I'm glad I can share it with you guys. But I'm reading this book and hopefully it works.
No drama discipline.
No drama discipline, guys.
Like something that one of the
I don't want any drama, you guys. Just like all the housewives. I don't want any drama.
Now, just a quick question. Yeah, sure. Is there going to be a no spit chart every day that she doesn't spit? Are we going to get a star?
That's a great idea. She said to me, because we've kind of given up on the no hit chart because she has hit me since we just kind of. The project, and honestly, the no hit chart only went through December.
Okay,
so we do have to start this other one.
Yeah, New Year. Let's see how many charts we can get going.
Yeah, no spit chart and no hit chart.
No spit chart, no hit chart.
So I feel like we're moving forward. Maybe because we had been behind for so long, but I'm proud of her. I'm proud of me.
I'm proud of both of you guys.
The cutest little girl in the world.
The first time you go like, hi, Cindy, and she goes, no.
No, she simply gave me a no. And I really respected it. I was like, you're right. I was like turning it up way too much. I didn't need all that.
She just looked at you and simply said no.
Yeah. And I recalibrated. I was like, that was the feedback I needed.
So that's where I am. Also, I'm watching The Man in the High Castle, which if anyone's not watching, it's about, I love it. Of course, it's right up my alley because it's about what would happen if Hitler had won the war, and it really suits me. So that's been fun.
It's so bleak.
I know, but I enjoy it.
That's one I just got to let pass me by.
Really? Anyone watching The Young Pope?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet?
No.
I don't know.
I'm watching something else, which we'll talk about.
We'll talk about it now. Yes,
okay.
I want to hear. You said you have a review for us, right?
I do. I'm branching out from film into TV because it's the golden age of television.
Really
I don't know if you guys have heard that.
No, I've been told.
So I'm covering a new show on NBC called Emerald City.
I have never even heard of it.
Well, you're gonna hear all about it now. I have to read this off my phone.
Please
apologize.
Do.
Of all the buzzed about new shows in 2017, NBC's Emerald City is not one of them. But it won't surprise you to know that I love all things Wizard of Oz. Guess what? I also love Madonna, and I don't like sports. I'm a basic gay bitch, and I'm leaning into that. When I was 4 years old, our neighbor Rose Hubschman made me a gingham dress for my Oz-themed birthday party.
Oh my goodness.
My mom told my boyfriend that story recently, and now when I touch him, he pulls away. Anyway, Emerald City is like all the great prestige sci-fi shows of our time. Your Game of Throneses, your Westworlds, maybe your Young Popes. I haven't seen it yet.
It's not sci-fi.
It looks expensive, and I can't follow what's happening. But it's great. Vincent D'Onofrio plays the Wizard of Oz, and fun fact, as you guys may know, he also plays Casey's dad, R.I.P. Casey, in the film Ass Backwards.
He does.
Anyway, he plays the Wizard of Oz, and in this show, he plays him like an insecure dictator. Sound familiar, guys? Everything seems like a metaphor for the Trump administration these days, doesn't it? This one's the Donald Jr., that one's the Ben Carson, and we're all watching going, oh, I see the parallels. Even this podcast, for example, Danielle is the Jared Kushner, the one pulling all the strings with a certain agenda. Jewish.
I'll take it, man in the high castle.
Tiana is the Ivanka, sleek, blonde,
Sorry,
probably just here to hawk her jewelry.
Yes, this all reads.
April's the Kellyanne Conway, holding it all together with a secretive and sad smile.
Wow.
I'm the Tiffany Trump, visibly thirsty and only vaguely associated with the family. And Casey, of course, is the Mike Pence, stirring up Hamilton controversies every time she leaves the house.
Who's Trump?
Well, it goes without saying that our Donald Trump is Andy himself, a reality TV personality turned feared leader. We obey him or we die. My point is, the best character on Emerald City is the Witch of the West, who reminds me of Fairuza Balk, who coincidentally played Dorothy in Return to Oz. And
wow,
now,
deep cut.
Fairuza makes her own candles, but they're sold out online, you guys, at the moment. I'm sorry to report. But on election night, Fairuza tweeted, quote, I keep hearing my neighbors screaming no on the other side of me in the night. The raccoons, on the other hand, they seem okay, end quote. Emerald City, Friday nights at 10 on NBC, 4 stars.
What? Wow. You didn't give it 5 stars.
Because of how much it reminds me of the painful political moment we're in. It's too hard.
Can I ask you how many Aviva legs it gets?
Oh, wow. Well, if it's 4 stars, then that's probably 3.5 Aviva legs.
Thank you.
It's like British and American currency. It's like one's just a little.
The exchange rate is a little bit tough.
Yeah, it's close.
Wow, thank you for that.
Thank you for letting me share.
Your reviews are always so poignant and so important. And
straightforward.
And a Fairuza Balk reference? I mean, you can't get those on TV.
Oh, I do miss her. Guys, check out the show. Or don't. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Right. Are you going to watch any more episodes?
I'm going to give it probably one more week and then never again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you watching for us.
I mean,
I thought when I said, hey, you got anything for us? I thought you were going to maybe bring us like a dog's tale or whatever. What's that one that's like every dog's life has meaning?
Oh, yeah. It's like one of those that you
cry. Dog's purpose.
A dog's purpose. You just cry immediately.
Yeah. Like I just look at that dog face when it's like every dog has meaning. I'm like, they do.
I was devastated that the Beaches remake on Lifetime with...
Yes, with
Long and
Wicked. With Wicked, with Elphaba, with Frozen, with
Frozen Wicked Elphaba. Deanna, I don't know who we're talking about.
You know what we mean?
Are we talking about
Idina Menzel? Yes,
Idina Menzel.
I refer to her as Frozen Elphaba.
I mean, that is ripe for bitch sesh, but it's not out yet.
It's not. I will be partaking in that.
Yeah, big time.
So Deanna, what's up with you?
Oh, man.
Well, I'm just still living in the Ivanka Trump of it all. Like,
that's
first of all, thank you so
Yeah.
much. That feels great.
And actually, like, I'm looking at you right now I'm seeing her.
You have her.
It.
You do. You're sleek. You guys, right now, she is sleek, creamy skin, beautiful, subtle silver hoop in her ear. I don't know if you have makeup on, but your skin has never looked better.
Always.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, guys. So, I mean, not too much going on except for that reference, but
wow, that really
I'm
was
just going to really wrap myself in that for a little bit. I told you I'd maybe bring some OMFG to the table.
We all know that Deanna has an amazing, hilarious, informative podcast called OMFG. It's so good. Listen if you don't.
Yeah, it's on the Earwolf Network. It's just right below Bitch Sesh and just trying to get to Bitch Sesh, but it's close. It's not. But I have a couple of terms. One that I feel like is very housewife friendly.
Okay. And your terms are always kind of like what the kids are.
Oh, yeah. We're basically, Emily Foster and I we're interviewing the youths and trying to get hip, trying to learn what's happening.
I need to know.
So have you heard of receipts? The concept of receipts?
I mean, when I pay something and then I get a piece of paper back, or sometimes they say, can I email it to you? And I'm always like, do not. Yes.
I have heard of it, but I don't have a handle on if I'm involved in it, or I know that it is phone and text message related, but I don't know if I have it.
So basically, like this past year, the quintessential receipt moment was when Kim Kardashian pulled out the receipts on Taylor Swift.
Yes. I remember that. It was the receipts heard around the world.
Yeah. So that's like the concept of receipt. You have proof that some shit went down that the other person is trying to act like didn't go down.
Wow.
So she had that recording of Kanye and Taylor on the phone, and he was like, hey, I do want to put you in a song and have a reference, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, that sounds good. Meanwhile, she had acted like she never And, he did call her a bitch, and there's a gray area there. But still, Kim
he had her number. As my generation said.
Yeah.
As the greatest generation. Is that what they called us?
So that's just one you guys can take on the road. Receipts happen a lot in the housewives community at reunions.
They sure do, with literal receipts.
Literal receipts. Bitches be pulling out cell phones with text message chains, and they just give the receipts. Like,
I thought this was a like when they say you're on read, like where you can see that someone read your texts.
Oh,
yes.
Is that connected?
Right.
To
So
receipts?
on read means like if I had a crush on someone, right? I'd be like, you know what? He could leave me on read like all day. I don't even care.
Meaning
That's how much I sweat.
Not responding.
Right. And I'm sitting there. I like him so much. Like he can just keep me on read, and I'm waiting, and I can't wait to hear from him, and I'm going to sit in that.
Wow.
Now, how would I use like I heard someone talking about me and I've got the receipts. Like, is that how I'd use the receipts? Or how would I use the receipts? Or I know that you cheated on me with my, I want to say boyfriend, because I doubt these children have husbands. I mean, I don't want to make guesses. I mean,
right.
We're, younger and younger every day. But like, you cheated on my boyfriend. You cheated on my boyfriend. So I have your receipts.
It's not. I don't think that's incorrect.
It doesn't sound right.
No.
It came out of my mouth, so maybe that's why.
I have your receipts. It doesn't feel like the right application.
So can you apply it?
I feel like, and I'm not actually feeling 100% secure on the application of it, but I'm more conceptual with it. But I feel like if I had the receipts on something you did, I'd be talking to Matt and I'll be like, Danielle did such and such, but I have the receipts.
Well,
is that what you just said?
Think so,
okay.
But I don't know.
So or hashtag.
It might have just sounded so bad the way I said it that it didn't sound like English, and that's what I understand to have happened.
The whole podcast audience has the receipts on how bad you just attempted
and I
that.
appreciate that.
We might need to get clarity from the people on that.
Tell me, guys, if you can send out, just tweet at me like how I can use receipts in a sentence.
Well, also, didn't Whitney say in her Diane Sawyer Crack is Whack interview, like, I don't do it, show me the receipts?
Oh, that's a long time
That's
ago.
of my gen.
Yeah, that's my gen.
That's a fresh new reference.
I remember Whitney.
I wonder if it's like this is a rebirth of that.
And there's a lot of rebirths.
And on
chokers.
Yeah.
Chokers are a goddamn rebirth.
Kyle's choker. And again, I know we've talked about it on the podcast, but I'm still trying to make heads or tails of that white piece of, I don't know if it's cloth or metal or jewels. I can't get my head around that choker.
It looks like a fabric, but I don't even think I would call that. Like, that's not what the kids are doing. They're wearing a thin black choker.
As I did in the 90s during a grunge era.
Melrose Place.
Yes.
Sometimes a little black, like a bow.
Yeah.
I, as a Jewish woman, wore a cross. I just for fashion purposes. I was with my choker. I mean, like, I wore it around my neck. I don't know if I thought I was Madonna. I don't know what I was thinking or trying to convey to the world, but there are pictures of me with a full-blown cross, like choking around my neck. And
when you first said that, I was like, why is that a problem? And then I was like, got it.
I mean, again, I'm not religious in any way, but I loved how it looked.
Yeah.
And so I just went with it in a choker form.
Right. What are we talking about?
We were talking about just we were going back to like how it's housewives now. And like how
what
receipts
Tyler is
housewives and
wearing
chokers
is not a choker, and
Right. I mean, I think that, it's not fresh, but I don't know. It's an abstract. I think she's the only one doing a 6-inch like white fabric.
Thick. It has it's a thick choker.
It's a thick choker. It has texture and dimension. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you, Deanna.
One quick public service, and then we, really quick. If you, and this is just for the people, if you are doing a deep dive on Instagram and you are 2 years down and you accidentally like a picture.
Yes.
Which we've all done.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately, this is what you do.
I have to say I haven't done because I wouldn't have to know how to get to that.
We'll just scroll.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like scroll.
I don't know how it's like how I could look up something 2 years ago. I wouldn't know how to do that.
You just, I mean, I think you're just scrolling. You're just scrolling too hard and too deep.
Okay.
And then you accidentally like something and you're like,
Yes.
you know, because that shows that you've done such a deep dive.
Yeah.
You immediately unlike it. Then you just hot tail it up to the front into the beginning of like their first
The freshest photo,
and you like that. So when they go and look at their notifications, they can't tell that it was an old
Wow,
and
that's amazing.
That's important.
It's important,
guys. PSA. Thank you,
PSA.
Deanna.
You're welcome.
Guys, thank you for all you give to this podcast. Those were important tips. Important. Now, guys, even though Casey can't be with us tonight, she's
Don't say that.
Not passed. She did leave us a note, especially regarding Ladies of London. She wanted to leave a voicemail because we've been watching and deep diving. And so Casey wanted to speak to you guys, the audience, and us.
I'm excited.
So here's Casey.
A note from the beyond.
Yeah. Wow. Again, she's fresh as a daisy with us, just in another state. Okay, here we go.
Hello, it's Casey. I'm in a very echoey room in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm filming a movie. I'm so sorry I can't be there. Hello to Deanna and Matthew. You're in my home. Treat it with respect. Hi, Danielle. Guys, I'm just leaving a little voice memo. I do have to say, whenever I travel, I meet so many of our listeners. I feel like when I get in an airport, you guys come out of the woodwork, and I really, really appreciate it. I've met many of you in airport bathrooms. One of you while I was changing my son. We did a quick selfie. I met one of you in a yoga class, hot yoga in the locker room. This gal was naked from the waist up, just bare-breasted and extolling her love of the show, which was so sweet. Many of you, I mean, I do feel like a modern-day heroine. Many of you have said I've inspired you to do really great things for yourselves, like research San Pedro, you know, or I've given an ability to feel better about yourself. If you've shit your bed, you know, you're not alone. And I hate to be bragging like this, but it does feel like I'm changing lives one by one. My point is, you guys are not afraid to say hi, and I really like that. And I feel like we have a very attractive listener base as well. Guys, I'm missing the Facebook group and hearing from everyone, but I guess we have to accept our realities. And speaking of not accepting reality, I'd like to talk about the Ladies of London. I'm obsessed with this show almost more than The Housewives right now, I have to say. I think it's the best show. And other people are saying Summer House is very good. I haven't seen that yet. I'm going to get on it. But Ladies of London, oh my God. There's just so much going on. I feel like I've never seen one of the side kind of characters, the gay hairdresser, Caroline Stanbury's gay hairdresser. I don't know his name, which feels strange because he's such a part of the fabric of the show. He literally travels with Caroline, does her makeup for every single event, but then is not allowed to come to any dinners, but is really driving the train. I mean, he's driving her and driving them to all their events. I'm so interested in what he's being paid. He's her best friend. He's her companion. He's her everything, but yet is such a second-class citizen on that show. I continue to abhor Jules. She is weaker than my 6-year-old niece. Just a mess, constantly crying. Her hair is a goddamned mess. It's her hair and style make Eileen look pulled together and sophisticated. And I say that having worn the same dress that Jules wears this week when they're going out to dinner in Scotland. It's like this orange dress that's kind of slightly boat neck, sleeveless, and like a weird back. And I mean, I wore it with pride. Now I'm not sure. Jules was wearing it. I'll do a side-by-side, piece and let you see who wore it better, but I'm horrified. And what else? Why does Caroline Stanbury take everyone, and everyone on this show takes everyone on a fun trip to old school, gross, haunted castles? Go to St. Bart's. But I guess that's what I love about the ladies. Like, they're right where they should be, which is in Gothic, old school castles. They're walking the grounds, you know? And I mean, I guess I can see any of these gals at a kind of, what the hell is that called? What are they doing on the, Danielle, you might want to email this part. Sorry, I can't think of it. It's, I mean, I can see any of the girls in a panic room, game night, any of that. But I like the ladies of London. They're having their tea. They're walking around in the rain. Marissa Hermer is so American. The way she talks is just, excuse me, driver, is there a drink they drink here? Her voice is so high. She's so thirsty. She's so needy. Everything ends in a question. And yet, I really like her. I'm fond of her. And I see myself in her. Moving on, I just have another comment on Jules's hair. So greasy and weird. She's so self-centered. Caroline Stanbury, I mean, I love that she gives a toast and she's like, let's all have a great weekend and remember why we all came together in the first place. It's like, well, we came together for this show. Duh, none of them know each other or knew each other before this. Horrifying moment this week where Adela, they haven't given us any backstory on Adela except that she's an alcoholic and has possibly lost her children. She's a gorgeous girl, smart, fun. She shares the most personal story someone could ever share, where she confesses she attempted suicide, and there's complete silence at the table. Everyone's hearts are breaking. And the other Juliet, the brunette, breaks in with, but isn't that selfish? I mean, there has to be another answer. And I mean, everyone was absolutely floored. And then they cut to Juliet doing a testimonial. She's like, I love life. I love joy. I could never leave my kids behind because it's selfish. Juliet is a heartless monster. This woman has literally almost lost her life to alcoholism, has been in the hell and throes of addiction. How dare you say it's selfish? I really wish they would have strangled Juliet in that moment. And I love the music of Ladies of London. It's kind of this British nameless pop for 12-year-old girls. Like, every song is just like really quick and fast. It's like, it's a new day and a great day. Yeah. And finally, the best quote ever. I just love Caroline Stanbury. She's completely bonkers, but she was seating people at a very long table. And she just says as a throwaway comment, should I sit in the middle so everyone gets my company? Amazing. That Danish girl, Caroline, Danielle, I know you disagree, but she continues to be such a fucking cuckoo, wearing a sleep mask on her head at breakfast. She's just a nut. I don't blame her because she grew up in such a different world, but she's a nut. Juliet is so jealous of Marissa, who's had such a hard year. It just seems like she's seething with jealousy over this person, the way she handles her and reacts to her. And Juliet has major anger issues, and I can say that as someone who truly once sat in my car seething with rage and threatened to my husband and truly wondered aloud, should I drive my car into my living room? Will that make an impact? Juliet, you know, she needs to work it out. And I love Sophie, love her hair, continue to love her dearly. And I get such a rush when that show comes on. So I hope everyone's watching it and loving it. Talk to you later. Bye.
Wow, Casey, those were good thoughts. Like, great, I thought, yeah. Again, not her final words, Matt.
I'm just saying, who would be her replacement? You know?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything she says except for like half the things Casey says. In that, I hate Juliet. I hate Jules. I like both Carolines. Caroline Stanbury is amazing, and I like the other the princess, the Swedish princess Caroline.
Baroness.
Yeah, the Baroness. Is that what she is?
She's wait. Are we in the same person? The
blonde.
She's not Swedish. She's
Danish.
Yeah. Well, same. But
they're all blonde and beautiful.
Do you guys remember last week when they were on their two separate pub crawls for the Queen's birthday, and Juliet was like having like pregame at her house, and Caroline came over and the other Caroline was late. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And so Juliet is there with her daughter getting ready, and she has I can't believe Casey didn't bring this up. Literally the Danielle Schneider whimsy bow on the side of her head.
I thought that was her one good quality. I was thrilled.
Looking at her like, what the fuck? And then Caroline walks in and does like what was basically Jessica St. Clair's reaction to you, which was
anger and wanting to hurt me. I have never had such anger about something I've ever worn.
And she just frolicked about in that thing all day.
Am I a Juliet?
You are not.
I'm worried. When she said she was looking for leprechauns in Scotland, that was kind of awesome.
She's terrible.
Yeah, she's
terrible. A rotten girl.
But I hate Jules more almost. If I have to hear one more time about Jules and fucking Mapperton and how hard it is to fucking do Mapperton, it's not like she's on a goddamn chain gang. She's just like selling tea towels. Like that's her job. Like how are you under so much pressure?
I mean, the only thing that I saw the pressure via the elderly staff at Mapperton who gave me a lift of a lifetime. Yes. Like that elderly staff of old crinkly ladies, the way they look at her.
That's what I want to be.
The judgment, the shade. Talk about legit old school English ass shade. Like they were delivering on with every look, with every... The way they answered her with such thoughtful shade was just the best. And I was like, I wouldn't want to have to come up against these.
I know, but I don't think you would. I don't think you're a Jules. I think the way that Jules talks to them, and she sounds so American, and maybe it's like the flatness of her voice, and I'm sure that's how we sound to every European.
She just looks so much like a Fox News reporter.
Yes.
Like that's what she should be doing.
But not.
But not. No, I mean, she's like a
and also
monster.
But I also think all the people that sort of work for these ladies give them shade. That baby nurse, Patricia, Marissa's baby nurse, she's a monster.
Really?
I think she's a monster. When she gave Marissa when she was like, the baby is crying and miserable without you. I was like, fuck you, Patricia. Yeah. As a mom, she's away. She has to do this show. I mean, not guns over her head, but come on, she has to.
She has a problem with me. She'll spit in my face
exactly. like a fucking normal baby, not cry like a demon. But yeah, just for Patricia, I thought that was shady of Patricia. I feel like all the people that work for them, and that's what I appreciate about the British folk, is they will tell it like it is, as opposed to like us watching Dorit's nanny fucking iron the baby clothes and just taking it. That was tough. So I feel like the British give some shade, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I hadn't watched a lick of London, but I knew we might be talking, so I got in and I just delved and went hard.
Isn't it wonderful?
They're on point. Yeah. Like, I think I got locked because I thought I had watched in a very dark time. I'd watched an episode or two of Australia.
Oh, yeah, like Melbourne.
And with their hard blusher makeup and they
contour in a way that is extreme and it's divisive.
It's so upsetting.
Meaning that their cheek is divided from the rest of their face.
There's nothing aspirational. No one's looking at them being like, I want to be those women. But the London ladies,
the London, there is real money.
Yeah.
And yeah, so as Casey said, that whole thing with Juliet and poor, what's her name? The one who said that she had tried to commit suicide.
Adela,
who I love. That was a heartbreaking moment. Yeah. And that's what you're going to find in real
And you're going to find hair that is stunning.
Yeah.
Skin
Sophie.
That is stunning.
Guys, I am going to go to my hairdresser when I see her and just show her a picture of Caroline Stanbury and say, give me the Stanbury.
You need the Stanbury.
I need a Stanbury.
You can really do the Stanbury. Would you do that color?
I can't do the color. No. I
mean, I think you could.
I am an olive-toned human. There's no way I can pull off a bright, beautiful blonde. It's just not in me. But I'm going to do the Stanbury in terms of cut.
Look great.
And I suggest you all do it.
Just
I can
across the
suggest
board.
anything to our listeners. It was that we all just go and get a Stanbury.
She looks like Kylie Minogue.
I'll take that.
To me, she looks like Hot Lips Hula Hound.
Yes, Loretta Swit. Wow.
Yeah, that's who she looks like to me.
Guys, kids, you can IMDb that. Mills, she was a star in the 70s on a little show called MASH.
Me and my brittle bones don't.
That's the only thing I knew how to play on the piano as a child was the theme song to MASH.
How does it go?
Is
That is the saddest thing.
I know, and it's literally the song, and I was 7 years old playing this. The name of the song is "Suicide Is Painless."
Oh my god!
And that's my parents like, learn this. Like, I don't know why. Still can play it for any requests out there, but that's the only song I know how to play.
Did you spit in their face?
No, I was not like that. I had no fire. Sydney's got a fire. She's gonna be president, you guys. Let's take a little commercial break.
Okay.
And we're back, you guys, with Deanna and Matt.
Great.
And Casey in spirit, R.I.P. Now you've got me saying it.
I don't like it.
Now, let's dive into Atlanta, guys. Because I, for one, even though this wasn't necessarily like a stellar episode of Atlanta always gives you something.
Even their off episodes are so on.
There's always little Easter eggs just hidden inside where you discover and like eat and taste and put around in your mouth like a little treasure.
Enjoy the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Like the pop-up shop where I still can't get my head around. Is there money being made? Does it all go to the camp? Like, what is the percentage? Do they take any money from it? Are they giving any money? Are they just giving profits?
Well, there was a whole 50% debate.
Of
but what I was saying is is she saying you get 50% and then the other 50% is going to the Flint families? And that's what people are having a problem with is I don't want you to give too much to the charity.
Is it because it was her charity and not their charity? Like, why was everybody in a tizzy a little bit? I couldn't make heads or tails of that.
I couldn't make heads or tails of it, but what I could make heads or tails of was the lower thirds that hit the screen with what was made. And I was like, ooh, that is so dirty.
Oh,
my
God, yes.
Sheree donated $590.
Oh, Sheree!
Because everyone else was like 1,000.
Well, Sheree just sold T-shirts that say who gonna check me, boo? Which I'm sure that people can make for themselves.
Yeah, she had the saddest pop-up by far.
Well, I don't know. Portia's pop-up hair extensions.
I don't even remember you seeing it, but
No, we didn't. No, did we get eyes on those?
We saw they look like horsetails, and then we saw that it was kind of falling apart her area.
Right.
Like Candy again is the only real businesswoman of these ladies.
Candy's business is a what do you call it? Pyramid scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, but that's a legitimate business.
Yeah, it's what our government is.
Yeah, we're calling that a business at this point, right?
This is Trump's America. Yeah, I mean,
our dear Casey herself got involved in a pyramid scheme at one point.
I'm in love.
Recently, recently, and we'll have her talk about it on the podcast. But as a successful actress and writer, she
got herself involved,
signing over her Social Security. And,
she got into some stuff. Yeah. So I'm just saying, none of us are above a pyramid scheme.
Believe me, did I fuck with some Arbonne cosmetics back in the day?
Yeah, I sure did. Did I try and sell some cookies that were a diet cookie in my 20s? Sure.
Look, was my college education paid for by Beauty Control, which is a lesser known competitor of Mary Kay that my mom worked for my entire life?
Sure. But it's a business. If you're making money, it's a business. Absolutely. I don't care who suffers.
And Candy looked fantastic. Yeah. Best she's ever looked in that pink outfit.
And her and Portia and together in pink, it reminded me of Good Days together. You guys, one of my favorite things that Sheree is doing this season, and I don't think we've seen it another season, is in testimonials how she is punctuating things with a sip out of a soda can. And I am living for that.
Yes.
It's something she's doing, and it's just that extra bit of oomph that I love.
She's talking about is it Kenya's hair product? And she goes, I don't know if there's water, if she got any product in there.
And then she just sip.
I think the sip started with Hell to the Knot. She had picked up a Capri Sun. And
and it's never a high. This looked to be an Arizona iced tea. I don't know what she's got going on, but I'm loving it. And also when she said that her style was old world Hollywood, and then referenced 50 Shades of Grey, which was great. And I love Sheree. She never stops giving.
She is a wild woman, and I love everything she has to
I know.
give.
And when Casey was like, for a while, Casey was not into Sheree, and I feel like she's come around to her because that's like not appreciating the Mona Lisa, you know?
Like, I feel like the way Casey feels about Kenya is how I feel about Sheree, and I don't understand her love of Kenya, and I don't feel like she understands our love of Sheree.
No, but everybody loves Sheree. I mean, Sheree, I don't think that's negotiable, Sheree. Like, I don't think...
Sheree has gave us Who Gonna Check Me, boo.
Right.
I mean, there's
you can't step away from that and not know that that's genius.
Yes.
I think that what Casey is rejecting is Sheree's arrogance and her, like, she's a lot of talk without that much action.
Do you mean she had a clothing line with no clothes?
She has a lot of things with no things, you know? And
but
so
I appreciate the confidence it takes to pull that off.
Every franchise needs a Sonya.
right, a toaster oven.
I know, but I think Sheree has more than, like, Sonya is a totally different beast to me.
Absolutely.
And I say beast with love.
Yeah.
I mean that with and the most respect in the
A
world.
completely different monster.
Yeah. I can love a monster.
Right.
I mean, people love Ted Bundy. You can love a monster.
Sheree's testimonial game is at the top.
Yes.
There's no one who can beat her. Like, her and Bethany probably are right up at the top.
neck.
With
I
their
would say
testimony.
Bethany's game doesn't feel as natural to me.
I've never
agree.
laughed out loud at a Bethany testimonial.
Yeah.
I laugh.
I get
do
that
too.
it is funny, but Sheree, I literally am like, well, that's just comedy.
fucking great.
That's just high
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this could go up there with like, you know, like the greats. Like,
Yeah.
you know
Jack
what I
Lemmon.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is Lucy stuff. This
Yeah.
is I'm in
Jennifer
for
Aniston.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put her above Jenny A, but that's just me.
I really enjoyed seeing Marlo.
I don't get Marlo. Everyone's, I mean, because wasn't she the same woman that had that strange interaction in South Africa with Sheree that was like, and now they're best friends, and Sheree's like, no one's got better style than Marlo.
Right.
And it's like, does she? Like, I've never seen proof of Marlo's terrific style.
I did like what she came in that jumpsuit with the like gold brocade all over it. And stuff,
Yeah, I
and her
don't
boobies
know.
out.
Like, I wouldn't say that.
She feels very Kim D to me.
Well, someone today on Twitter said to me that she's the Faye Resnick
Okay.
of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I
All
thought that was
three of
pretty
them
accurate.
feel like
Yeah.
you trot them in to cause a stir.
Yeah.
And then you trot
They're
them
not
back
going to be
out.
the center, but they
No.
are going to be like a catalyst a little bit. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
she's you know, Marlo, I can give or take. What is interesting that they're doing on Atlanta this season is the cinematic feel
Yes.
of things, where there was when Kenya's doing that car ride, she's looking out the window and they're showing flashbacks
Yes.
to music with words, with lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay.
To express what they think, what the editors have decided that she feels
But are you
during
talking about when she pulled up to discover
Yes.
the broken window? Yeah, it was like
Yes.
full. It was a full music video. It was like a Florence and the Machine.
Yes.
Or something playing. It was like.
Did they do the same thing with Cynthia in the House, which I felt like they made a big
Yes,
meal
they
out
did
of
do that. They did do that. And that to me felt like, I noticed it first with the Kenya thing, because I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
we are really going for, like, someone wants to get out of the reality game is what I
Yeah.
thought about the
Okay.
editors.
yeah.
Like, they're like showing people what they can do
Right.
if the reins come off.
Right.
And it worked for
I respect
me.
that.
I feel like they also had a meeting and they were like, what we're dealing with is genuinely the most harrowing thing that is happening on any Housewives thing. And like, we have to give this thing its due.
Yeah, well, it is true. Like, Matt is a scary person. And-
No, I feel like
Matt on Atlanta, not me.
No, I meant you. Matt
It's true.
McConkey is terrifying.
I feel like, and then again, Candy was like, no, I was just kidding. You can't stay here. But I do feel like Candy is the only person who has
Money?
money. And actually, no, Phaedra did this. Actually, this episode, Phaedra and Candy dealt with the Matt situation, you know, in a way that was appropriate.
Human
I mean,
and
he's
kind.
like, this is how women get murdered.
Yeah.
You know, and so you have to deal with it correctly.
No, they treated her with kindness, which I haven't seen on a lot of the shows. I feel like, not that we've dealt with this, but I feel like they've actually had some sympathy for her, whereas I feel like on other of our shows we don't see that.
I have a question about when she first discovered the window and she was calling Candy, and then we heard over the speakerphone, we heard Candy's voice going ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was, it seemed to be her ring.
Her ringtone, meaning
that when you call,
tone.
call her, you don't hear bring.
You hear
ring a ling. Yes, I think you can do that if you go into
I'm sure that's downloadable
to your system's preferences.
I want to get that.
Yeah.
If you figure out
if we got anything from this episode, I'd like Candy's as mine. Like I'd like ring a ling.
Yeah, I want that.
Hear that when
My favorite part of, I love a packing scene and Cynthia packing up her house, which, guys, she's never getting that lake house, is she? Like, that's not going to happen. So. That's done.
Sounds like, the appraisal was a tough differential. Like, it was like
never heard of something. I've never heard of something that extreme.
What happened?
Was it set on fire between the two appraisals?
What happened?
I don't know.
No. And by the way, what a steal.
Right?
At that price.
Well, can't she just renegotiate it and get it at the lower price?
That's what I would love to believe.
It seems like
but watching her pack up her fake flowers
was weird.
Such a strange to behold.
Her daughter Noelle, when she went in, she was like, "Mom, you're bothering me. I'm homeschooling." Is she a homeschooled child? Is that what?
Perhaps.
I just had never heard that as like I'm homeschooling right now. Like that's the activity.
I'm schooling myself.
Anyway,
but that move was interesting, and then there was the pop-up shop at the end, which was fun to watch. I would have loved to have gone to that.
I would have loved to have been there.
I would have bought all of Aiden's cookies.
Oh, what a sweetie
he's
Petey.
So cute.
And you know what? Kenya's shop looked fantastic.
It did. It looked the
really
most
did.
professional.
It looked great. I thought Portia coming in with her 1980s hairdo and power suit was
what was that hair?
I really
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You're talking about the Lisa Rinna bob.
Yes.
No, it was not. How dare you? That was not a Lisa Rinna bob. That was her natural hair, and everyone was taken back. They were like, whoa.
I didn't think it didn't meet her personality. I didn't meet her personality.
I liked it. I saw a 1980s power girl walking through the door, and she just had natural hair, and I think that it was nice. Let's give those extensions a rest.
I didn't think I can see that, but I would have liked her to have gone all the way short, like super short, like that 1980s kind of like half and half thing for me was. It just didn't feel right. It felt like ill-fitted, like kind of like a suit that she like the clothes she was wearing. It all didn't mix with her personality.
You would have liked for her to actually have had Lisa Rinna's hair.
Yes, always. I would like for all of us. I'd like for us all to get the Stanberry, and we know I've moved a little bit, but if you all said I'd like the Rinna, I might
when
go with
you
that.
perform on stage, instead of picturing the audience naked, you picture everyone
in Rinna's. Yeah, and that's when I feel at home. That's when I can do my job.
Yeah. you're most centered.
But yeah, the pop-up shop, like to hear Cynthia say that her sunglasses went from 100 to 300 was like, I gasped. Like, that is too much.
Too much.
Mm-hmm.
Too much for Cynthia Bailey eyewear.
Yeah.
Well, she still donated $1,000, or maybe it wasn't Cynthia. I think she did.
She came in at 1,000. Well, I don't know if that's proceed, and I don't know what that is. And nobody knows.
And also when Phaedra was like, I don't even have to ask this, but everybody knows the difference between net and gross. I was like, I don't.
I was like,
of course. I literally think I said to like myself, like, of course. Yeah. I think I was lying to myself.
I was like, Portia doesn't, and neither do I.
I literally was like, I had a conversation where I lied to myself.
It's a good way to present things when you don't want to hear anything. You know, everyone knows that, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I do just want to give Phaedra a shout out for her office scenes this episode.
Oh, yeah.
They were fucking excellent.
They look like she's actually been there, and I appreciate that.
My favorite is how, like, obviously every arrival at the office is like staged and arranged, and how the poor front desk guy has been told to act like he doesn't know.
No, I believe he's an actor from Atlanta. I believe he is hired and he acts.
And he doesn't know who Kenya is.
Right.
And he goes, Miss Kenya Moore. Okay,
yeah,
let me
I
just
believe
check.
he is he has done community and dinner theater around Atlanta. Maybe even done a few things, small roles, and like as you like it at the Fox Theater in Atlanta. Like he has trod the boards.
So he made a choice. I'm going to be a bumbling receptionist. I'm not going to be a confident receptionist.
Yeah, this isn't his first acting role.
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely
and it certainly won't be his last.
God, no.
She needs him. She needs him to receive people. I feel like we've had some really tough moments in that office, like where it's been so staged, and this felt normal. Like actually, they got it right.
In a world
time.
where not a lot is normal, it felt right. Most normal.
Did you guys cry during the prayer? I did.
No. I got emotional. No, I mean, I did cry in Beverly Hills last week, which we'll talk about later. But I mean, I'm not above getting emotional in one of these episodes. I'll tell you.
Guys, a listener sent us a review of Bar One that our listener Anthony tweeted at us, and I just like to read it for you real quick because it was amazing. Bar One, or is it Club One? Club One. Sorry, guys. On Yelp. So this was the review. My sister invited me out at the last minute, said we were going to Club One. Never been here before tonight, and little did I know the Real Housewives of Atlanta were filming here tonight. Big whoop. I'm not that much of a fan, but do know the show. Anywho, I paid to get in along with my sister. I will admit, I was underdressed for the party. I didn't think it was a big deal, and I was still let in the club. About an hour after being there, someone walks up to me and says management is complaining about my attire? ? And it was actually, it's not a question mark. It was actually an emoji that was like, what? And tried to ask me to leave, but wasn't trying to give me my money back. So instead, I was told to go to the dance floor. Interesting. Yeah. Needless to say, I felt some type of way. I only stayed because my sister wanted to stay, and she drove tonight! ! I literally had on some high-waisted jeans and a crop top. And from a customer perspective, no one should ever be treated like that. If I don't want to dress with my ass out and in 6-inch heels, I won't. And if you don't want me in your club, then let me know at the door, not an hour or more of being there after I spent my money getting in and at the bar. Mm-hmm. First impressions are lasting impressions. I probably will never come back here.
Wait, there was a door charge at the
I just love that they were like, I probably will never come back here. Right. Like, they're still not...
They're like, I'm going to go.
That was riveting. Thank you for that.
And then April also just sent us another one. It just said, not impressed. This is about Club One. Not impressed. It was damn near a lesbian club. All females in the club are a nice size for a lounge, but the bottom half was small, but it was nicely decorated. All right.
Good highs and lows.
Damn near a lesbian. Was
damn near a lesbian. I don't know. Unclear, but
probably a woman who was like not happy with the male selection.
Yeah,
because normally having more a higher female to male ratio in a club is desirable.
But it didn't seem to be a review of the club, but actually maybe of a lesbian club next door.
Yeah.
Not unclear.
Well, I gotta imagine there's more than one place called Club One in the United States. There may be simply a mistake.
Yeah, so that was very interesting.
I gotta say, those reviews, they haven't stopped me.
I'll be there in a second.
I'll go right now.
And I'll dress right.
Yeah,
I'll dress whatever you want me to, Peter Thomas. I'll take it.
I'll look like an ice cream cone.
No, real quick, in a past episode, we had on Casey's sister-in-law and our dear friend, Shira Caspe Weiss, otherwise known as the Lighthouse. And she was giving some amazing relationship advice. And people have come to her and they've come up to us wanting advice from the Lighthouse. And someone, and I'm not going to say his name because he asked to remain anonymous, but he asked for some advice from the Lighthouse.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
And Shira, the Lighthouse, has answered.
The Lighthouse had
answered. So here is the question.
Yeah.
And from our listener, Anonymous. So, hello. I have a serious dilemma with regards to the dating advice given by Casey's sister-in-law a few months ago. I've been dating someone for a few months now, and he recently wanted to open things up to be less than exclusive because he got scared that he was becoming complacent with me. which basically devastated me. But I said okay because I'm trying to focus on the longevity of my happiness rather than its immediacy. Not to mention that the time we do spend together is pretty amazing. So anyway, I recently decided to try the Lighthouse technique and not reach out to him, which I have absolutely failed at so far, but I think he is also trying to be a lighthouse. So my question is, what happens when you're both trying to be lighthouses and the ocean of ambivalence continues to grow between you and you fear that you'll cause any number of boats to crash against your jagged reef because the light that you shine is meant for only one very specific boat?
Ooh.
Wow.
I cannot wait to
I am excited to hear this. I mean, I think she's going to tell him it's a wrap. What do you think?
I think she's going to tell him that basically she's going to commend the other guys doing it right. You don't try it and fail, because if you do it, then you're not doing it. You got to be about it.
Doing it.
Well, let's listen to what the Lighthouse has to say.
I love that you're calling her the Lighthouse.
Dear lost soul, some of this may be tough to hear, but in good conscience, I feel that you need to hear it. In terms of getting back together with this guy, I think it's a whoever talks first loses type of situation. But the real question is, are we sure we really want this clown back? Open things up to be less exclusive are the words he used. And that has never worked for anyone ever. And quite frankly, it's beneath you. Also, getting scared is a bullshit thing guys only get away with because of movies like Reality Bites and Chasing Amy. No guy has ever been scared of his feelings for another person, ever. If you really want him back, and I get it, we all want our ex-boyfriends back, you will get him back if you actually ignore him long enough. That's a guarantee. But by then, you'll be done. The truest lighthouse of all time is when you know your worth and mean it when you say you're done, when you mean it for real. Until then, my advice is fake it till you make it. Does this guy deserve you? That's the real question, you know? I hope you continue to live your best lighthouse. Shira.
Preach.
Wow.
Preach. Take us to church.
Oh, the queen has spoken.
Damn it.
She said it all, and I hope that that's helpful to our dear lost soul who needs some help and value yourself.
Complete answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Shira.
Thank you, Shira. Wow.
And thank you to our listener. If anybody else has questions for the Lighthouse, please, we will be reading them from time to time. We'll have her on the show again, too, to answer many of you. But she has great advice. And again, don't forget about the NyQuil. Don't forget about the NyQuil.
Oh, yeah.
Take the NyQuil before you go to
the
bed.
Centerpiece of them all. Yeah. I can't believe she didn't say that. Yeah, simply. And if it gets too hard, by the way.
Well, she has said it.
Simply crank that NyQuil.
It's a given.
Yeah, it's a given.
Given.
This is the perfect opportunity to
every night, though.
That
you have to do it every night. Shall we move on to Beverly Hills?
God, I can't believe we have another.
I know. Well, we won't go on too long.
I've been enjoying the hell out of this.
Me too. I don't want to lose track of the time.
Okay.
Beverly Hills, guys. Mikey needs to go. Mikey in Mykonos was too much. Too much. Mykonos shone so bright, I didn't need Mikey's light there, you know?
He's the worst.
He's I don't know from him. I don't know his kind. Like, I don't know his kind in the world.
All he was just like, gorgeous pillows. He just shouts random things as he passes them.
I think it's hard for me to watch him because, as I said to you, I am the Mikey of Bitch Sesh. Just this weird lurker on the side.
You have never shouted pillows at any.
Maybe I should.
You are not a Mikey on any level. And April made a really good point because we were trying to figure out, like, is he directing this video?
Who's to say?
Yeah, what is a creative director when you are a person?
Right. And she was like, if I was directing this video and I had pillows, amazing, like screaming, I would be like, get the hell out of here. Yeah. You know, who is this clown?
I know. So he was a low.
Unfortunately.
He was a low in an episode, but you know it was a high.
What?
Mauricio.
Baby. We were just a couple of horny old broads from Mauricio tonight.
I feel like I'm blushing right now.
when we could hear his sleepy voice of like, all right, babe, I was.
Open the door.
I was like, let me see what's going on in there.
I loved hearing him, like, I don't know. It felt post-coital.
Yeah, he was like, I'll miss you. I was like,
even in the...
I am getting, like, seriously.
I know. We're all like...
We're all touching ourselves.
Clutching our pearls right now.
I'm warm.
By the way, even in the flashbacks, I mean, the like old pictures from, I mean, he always had it, you know what I mean? Although we did have a lengthy discussion about nose jobs in the family, and I don't think we mentioned it. I think he has had one too.
Oh. No, I disagree. And
possibly.
God bless. I come from a family of nose jobs. You do you is how I feel.
Oh, I'm going to have
It was
one
my grandmother's dying wish that like all of her granddaughters had nose jobs. Like on her deathbed. On her deathbed, she was like, all of you, new noses.
Outrageous.
And then she died and they still haven't done it. So, you know...
Who's they? The girls.
I said like all the girls of our family were like, all of you needed redone, and then she like died.
The ghost is going to continue haunting you until her wishes.
It will, but so coming from a family that like, God bless, do you
right?
But yeah, like there was a lot of nose job action.
The only detractor I found from Mauricio was like he's been wearing the agency hat in a couple of episodes, and I'm like, okay,
yeah, we get it. We
got
know
it.
Where you work.
You know,
well, the agency is really. I think the agency has been helped by this show.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I'm ever in the market for $150 million house, I'd love to hit him up, you know?
And then Portia just saying, are we taking the Bentley, Mom?
I actually, like, while he was sort of talking about that big house with all those acres, I saw Portia looking around like, I might take it. You know, like I did see her clocking it. Like she may be the buyer.
We were talking about that house like, we literally, seriously, all of us were saying, yeah, not for me. Like we all were seriously like above that house. Like we were something. We spoke of it as if it was offered and we had the money and we chose differently.
No, thank you.
Well, I want to go back and look because I wanted to point out that Portia, they cut to her at one point and she was like moving her lips, looking away. Like she was like looking out at the ocean, like moving her mouth as if she was like practicing her lines. For when maybe she was working on that line.
Maybe she was secreting the house. Just like, I will have this house. I will have this house.
It was so odd.
I didn't notice
I gotta
that.
Go back and look at that again.
Now, you at one point said, Deanna, you looked to me and you looked directly in my eyes and said this.
Go ahead.
That Rinna was wearing a wig.
Yes, I do believe that. I've been looking at it with fresh eyes for the last 3 or 4 episodes, and I'm fairly certain that that's a wig.
What do you think's under there?
Well, a little hair, you know. I don't think she's bald, but I think she's wearing a wig.
I just don't feel that way.
I don't think so either.
Absolutely.
How can you stand there and sit there
and say that?
And say that to my face?
Because I'm looking, using my eyes, and I'm seeing what looks like a wig, a decent wig.
Not even a good wig.
A decent wig.
Wow, Deanna.
That's
you're coming for me. You're coming for me.
I don't see a lot of what you see with Rinna. I mean, it was divisive.
Well, you said, you used a word tonight that I've never heard, and you need to trademark. And what did you say, Matt?
I said, this season we're having a renaissance.
I mean, how so? How so are we having a renaissance?
This podcast in episode 1 saying she's the best housewife of all time, and then that season she went on to do the whole Yolanda Munchausen thing, and I was embarrassed. I bet on the wrong horse.
As you should have been.
I was like, I always get behind the wrong one. But now she's like, looking. I'm still embarrassed, and she's still embarrassing.
Yes.
I mean that little mini music video interstitial she tried to do with Eileen.
You guys, I would rather watch my parents have sex than watch those two pretend to dance in a music video. That was harder to watch than, again, my grandmother on her deathbed.
Oh my goodness.
And Erica didn't even stick around for it. She was like, bye.
Because she knew she couldn't.
She ran. She
literally ran from the room. Yeah. Even Mikey was like, no pillows. Like no one wanted to be around for that.
I mean, to do it is oh God, they're so crusty, the two of them. Yeah. And I like Eileen.
You couldn't even say that without you closed your eyes.
I closed my eyes and I
looked
hung my
down
head.
as if to bow in shame.
I know, because I know it's not a friendly statement
in this room.
But I do.
I love Eileen.
Oh, you do?
What?
I do. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, you bet on the wrong horse. Are you sure you want to say that?
I feel strongly about that.
But I was looking at them tonight, and I was just like, God damn, they're crusty. They're stuck in a different time, in a different place. And like, They're not fresh.
Corny as can be. I mean, they could not be any cheesier. And their idea of that, creating a wacky moment like that.
It's terrible.
It was
terrible.
I want to unsee it.
I do.
I know when I rest my head on my pillow tonight,
You
and I'm
will
trying
see
to
it.
sleep. Like
I'm
that's
seeing
the
it right
thing.
now.
I know, and it's hard.
We all, our arms went over our heads.
We all went,
legs kicked out. Like everyone's body
like
is
we were watching a murder scene. Like it was not great. Guys, no,
please
please
no. Please no.
And then Eden had some moments tonight. She looks fresh as a daisy.
She's a real
I've
rising
never
star.
seen as beautiful. Her skin is flawless. And yes, I know she's had work done and I feel it, but it's flawless.
I'm behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a real rising star this season. I'd love to get Dorit out and her in. The fact that she doesn't have a title card at the opening is a crime.
A crime against humanity.
Yeah. But I will say, and I've taken so many things from the Michael Rappaport episode. I listened to it twice and I have hung on his every word.
We think that he spoke to us. He cracked us all wide open.
When he said he said, she's good for this show. My head exploded because that's
Dorit?
not just that concept.
The concept of
of
Dorit?
someone being but of a housewife being good for the show.
He's right.
We don't have to like them, but we have to appreciate, and as Casey said, keep our eye on that.
Yeah.
That swung me around. I said, oh my goodness.
So it's crystal clear.
Yeah,
accurate,
he did
because-
bring things into focus.
Well,
Yes.
because no one in the existing cast is going to step to Erica Jane because she is now the reigning queen. And
Beyond Vanderpump, which I'm sure is a struggle for VP.
Oh, yeah, so VP has to be like, how about my designer, which apparently is what Dorit is, and she brings her in to have conflict with Erica.
Also, with the
Right.
dog laying across the table like a dead animal during Max's adoption scene. There was so much going on in that scene, but all I could look at was the dog
They just looked so
laying dead on the table. Both of those dogs are dead.
And Ken.
And Ken's dead too.
A lot
all-
of death.
A lot of death at the table.
They're surrounded by old carcasses of dogs and humans.
I didn't even get a handle on what
are we
actually
doing?
happened. Did we get the birth parents
Well, something that
information?
started in 2014, and then this seemed to be just the next step. It took 2 years to just take one more step.
One step.
And that seemed...
Yeah, she was like, Max recently decided, and they flashed back to 3 years ago when he was like, I want to find my birth parents. She was not having it. And look, as an adoptee, I get it. I mean, my Lisa Vanderpump it's a scary thing for her to go through. But
Right.
Lisa, if you're listening, I got to tell you, you're always going to be the mom. You're always going to be the queen on that throne.
This is like a moment.
This really is. Thank you for sharing, Matt.
Do you guys want me to do my one-man show?
But overall, this was a nothing episode. Not really. I mean, I loved seeing them in the Greek islands in Mykonos. Beautiful surrounding, but nothing really happened.
We wanted to see if we could raise enough interest in a Bitch Sesh Live Mykonos.
Yeah, if anyone wants to fly us to Mykonos, we will be there. You don't even have to pay us anything, just get us there, is what I would say. Oh, also, there was all that stuff with Eden talking with
Kim
about Kim, which I'm just like, we've seen this before. Like, I think Eden is flawless, but her storyline, we've seen someone trying to get into the Kim stuff. It's like, don't bother. We've been here. We've seen this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like the idea that Lisa Rinna is going to try to tell us that she's looking out for Kim is ridiculous. You know, she has been nothing but trouble. And, Kim is Kim, and we have to let her be Kim. And, we
found that out a long time ago. When is Lisa going to find
I
that
don't
out?
know. It's like, why are you rumbling?
I mean, I think she is right. That she is saying what Kim's sister's not willing to say, but I just can't believe from like a branding perspective that she doesn't realize how bad it
and
looks.
You approach everything from a branding
Well,
perspective.
what other perspective is there, I mean, I'm giving you a good, if you could see the brand I'm presenting right now in a dirty long pajama.
With your foot up and
My
what
foot
looks
up
to be a
in
brace.
Makeshift Velcro cast.
Are you wearing some sort of sock?
I'm wearing a compression sock.
Yeah. I once bought a compression sock right next to an 100-year-old man. I was pregnant at the time and we were both buying and he told me I looked beautiful. And I was like, why am I not always in this aisle of the grocery store?
Hang on to it in case you roll an ankle.
Oh, please. I have it. Handy. I have that compression sock forever. Let me take a sip of water.
Who's doing the best branding on it, Beverly Hills, just out of curiosity?
Erica Jane.
Okay.
Jane.
I mean, what are we doing here?
I got lost.
You know the answer to that.
I know. Were you just asking?
I was thinking about it and I got lost.
It's almost like
okay.
Other than Erica Jane.
What we already know. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I would like to plug a few things before we go, important to the show. First and foremost, we have a few tour dates coming up. We have our Largo show next Wednesday, the 25th, in Los Angeles with special guest stars Leslie Grossman, who's a Bitch Sesh favorite, and my husband, Matt Bester, who's got some thoughts about the Housewives, you guys. Some thoughts.
Amazing.
Another thing is we are going on tour in June. We're going to be in Seattle at the Showbox on June 17th, and we're going to be in Portland at the Alberta Rose Theater June 16th, Bitch Sesh Live. Go to our Facebook page and you can find the links to those shows. And also we want to plug another show that's just a friend of our show, and that's Throwing Shade. Yes. That's Brian Saffy and Aaron Gibson. They are great friends of the shows. They have their own hilarious podcast I'm sure so many of you listen to. They actually premiered last night, if you're listening to this today, but they're on Tuesdays on TV Land, every Tuesdays at 10:30. Casey was actually in the first episode in a really funny role, so watch that.
It's fun.
So yeah, they're the best, and so support people that we love and think are funny, and I'm sure you love and think are funny too. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, April. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Shira, the Lighthouse. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you to the whole Earwolf family. And we'll see you guys soon.
Renaissance.
Bye-bye.
Earwolf. This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Aukerman and Chris Bannon. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.